Hi everybody, good evening. I'm Ramesh Singh, connecting you from Delhi. Welcome to the session. As you know, this is our second session on the recently released economic survey 2022-2023. And as you know, survey and budgets are the very benchmark in reference to which questions are set right from PT to interview and in between the main exam. Everybody prepares for survey and budget. But what happens at times, what is important for you and what is not, very few know. Or better say, कि majority of students procured economic survey, they purchase the original volume or even they purchase the photocopies which are available as it is open source book. It's available very comfortably across the marketplaces. Okay, original can be also procured, but it takes some time. Rather, it is available online free of cost. What I mean to say, ki what should be prepared from survey and how they should be prepared. It is very essential aspect of referring survey, budget or any other government document for that matter. So for today's session, I have picked basically two topics. One is near and another is rear. They are related to exchange rates of any currency. We are here concerned with our currency, that is Indian rupee. In past few weeks and months, some of you have been asking me, sir, please speak up something on near and rear. So I thought, pick a topic on which I can give clarity related to concepts also, and side by side, I can connect the topic to the latest volume of economic survey too. Okay, so this is an effort in the same direction. Clear? So let's begin our session of today. Thank you, Ramya. Welcome to the session. Aman, you are also welcome, and someone is Carry on G. Okay, so welcome all to the session. As you know, like every other session, you are free to ask your doubts. Okay, related to anything which you think you should ask to me. Okay, so you might have seen that in last few years, few questions were asked in prelim exam on near and rear both. Suppose near of rupee currency decreases, suppose rear of rupee currency increases. So what will happen? Export will go up, export will lose competitiveness, import will increase, import will decrease. Such kind of, you can say, questions might be framed on this discussion today. Okay, so you are free to ask your. I'm all fine, Shravan. Oh, Shravan Dasari, I can recall your name. Welcome to the session. Okay, so let's begin our session of today. And naturally, in first part, I would like to clear your conceptual understanding of the near and rear. Then I go on to economic survey. How you know already conveyed by contemporary media how across 2022 Indian currency has been depreciating against many currencies and especially against the US dollars. Okay, and for that government of India has been criticized also why rupee currency is depreciating as much against American dollar, why our currency is weakening. Okay, so very suitable answer has been given by Government of India through the document Economic Survey regarding this question. Let's begin our discussion on near and rear of our currency, that is rupee. Okay, so you can keep on asking your doubts through chat because I have the chat in front of me. Okay, let's begin our discussion. Say what it is shown in the PPT. What are the near and rear actually? What exactly near and rear are? So they are the wage of cross-country comparisons of exchange rate movements and how currencies of global economies are moving up and down against each other. This is a method, this is a way, okay? While near, that is known as nominal effective exchange rate. While near, while in near, inflation is not adjusted. In rear, that is real effective exchange rate, it is adjusted. What exactly it means? It means that when we are calculating nominal effective exchange rate of our currency rupee against American dollar, so what we do, we don't go into how inflation moved in America or how it moved in India. It means that we compare India's currency against American dollar and its value without adjusting inflation rate in India and inflation rate in USA. This exchange rate, you get an exchange rate which you call nominal effective exchange rate. Clear? On the other hand, when you adjust the rate of inflation in calculating your exchange rate, so you get real effective exchange rate. In economics, when we use nominal and when we use real, so nominal means without adjusting inflation and real means after adjusting inflation. What I mean to say, when we talk something in nominal term, so we don't factor in inflation. But when we talk about some data in real term, that is R, real, so we factor out or adjust the impact of inflation. That is why you might have seen India's GDP is derived two ways, nominal GDP and real GDP. I mean to say growth rate of Indian economy. What is nominal GDP growth rate and what is real GDP growth rate? Real GDP growth rate in case of India always remains higher due to higher inflation pressure. Clear? So this is to the extent the concept is concerned. It means key near and real are two exchange rate of the same currency. In case of India rupee, while near gives you exchange rate of your currency independent of inflation rate. Rear includes the variable of inflation rate. Clear? So now at the end of the day, the indices near and rear, because after doing this, countries prepare their near and rear against a number of currencies and region. For example, India does that for a number of currencies belonging to a particular region or particular country. We also do, every country does, which gives you actually an idea about external competitiveness of the economy. When we say external competitiveness, it means basically export competitiveness. Export competitiveness. Clear? Suppose I give you one example. Suppose exchange rate of rupee against American dollar is like this. Okay? $1 is equal to, write it like this to make it good. Okay. Suppose American dollar 1 is equal to our currency rupees. This is our symbol rupees. Suppose 80. Whether it is near or rear hardly matters. Forget that for time being. Okay, because we have to understand what exactly export competitiveness means. So suppose $1 is equal to rupees 80 today. After a few months, suppose it becomes 85. After another few months, suppose it is at 78. See, here you have to understand whether it is near or it is real. Don't go into this. Anything. Suppose this is the exchange rate of rupee against American dollar. Once it is at 85 and then it is at 78. This is basically a rise or increase. Okay. And this is basically, actually you need to take it different way. What happens in case of a student, if they don't feel and they don't understand what exactly is happening. So let me give you a layman example. What happens here? Here it is basically rupee has depreciated. Rupee has lost its value, and here rupee has appreciated. It means ki against dollar, when rupee was 85 against $1, 80, it has fallen down to 85. So this is depreciation in rupee. And when it is increased to 78, it means the value of rupee increased to 78, it is appreciation. It means ki in this case, value of rupee has increased. Clear? And here, value of rupee has decreased. Keep this thing in mind very beautifully. If exchange value drops from 80 to 85, this is depreciation in rupee. And if it goes up, that is 78, this is appreciation. So when appreciation takes place either in rear or near, we call it near or rear has increased. And when depreciation occurs, we call near or rear has decreased. Okay? So when either near or rear has decreased, so in this case, your export competitiveness goes up, and in this case, your export competitiveness comes down. Comes down. What exactly it means? Because an item of India which was being imported by importers in 80, that is costlier for us in India. But for them, it has lost value. For them, it is cheaper. Clear? For them, it has become cheaper. India's goods have become cheaper for importers from India. So they will import more. So when rupee depreciates, our export competitiveness get enhanced. Opposite to that, when rupee appreciates, that is when near or rear increases, the export competitiveness goes down. Because Indian goods and services become cheaper when this thing happens. Indian goods and services become costlier for importers from India if this thing happens. This is which had been asked in PT exam. Suppose near of India has decreased or increased. So which of the following statement will be clear? Which of the following statement will be correct? Is it clear to you? So be it near or rear, any one of them increasing, it means the rupee must have appreciated. Any one of them decreasing, it means rupee must have depreciated. So depreciation in any currency helps the country to export more. Why? Because their goods and services become cheaper for the global market. And you know how this technique was utilized by China to pump its export in the global trade market for the last several years. Now it is not that much easy for China, but China used exchange rate management to support its growth rise. Okay, welcome Rizwan. How are you? No, basically, Himalaya, I am telling you okay, whether it is near or rear, increase in it will make our export competitiveness go down. So I use this example in case of both near and rear both. Keep in mind. Okay. So what I mean to say, okay, whether it is near or rear, decrease will make export more competitive. It means the world will order for more imports from you. Increase in it will blunt your export market. It will blunt your export competitiveness. That is, your exports will become less competitive. Is it clear? Acha Himalaya, we have done course there, na? Anyway, welcome. Welcome to the session. You are always welcome. Clear? So this is to the extent concepts of near and rear are concerned, and I tried to connect it to the questions of PT asked in UPSC exams. Such questions have been asked in other civil service exams also, which are conducted by states and state public service commission. Thank you. So there must be some range of rupee between which it should move within. Who decide that? No, 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 no. Aditya, there is no such range. Basically, our currency, rupee, determines its exchange rate today following floating currency system. It means that our rupee decides its exchange rate through market mechanism, demand and supply. In our foreign exchange market, what is availability and demand of American dollar and what is availability and demand of rupee. On this basis, value of rupee is decided against American dollar and against any currency of the world. Clear? That this is known as basically market forces. So exchange rate determination in case of India is taken through market driven idea since 1993-1994. India in 93-94 switched over to floating system, floating currency system or floating currency regime, which simply means in our foreign exchange market, rupee will derive its exchange value against American dollar on the basis of demand and supply of both of the currencies. Clear? Only then depreciation is possible. Appreciation, depreciation are not possible if you are following fixed currency system. It can only occur once you are following floating currency system. Is it clear to you? And nobody defines basically the range. It is regulated and managed by central banks across the world. Okay? No, Actually, Aditya, if rupee is depreciating regularly, so you have certain benefit and certain losses. Okay, and you are asking an altogether different question, which will divert our discussion of today. Okay, because you are asking ki, what are impacts of depreciation and appreciation on an economy in its currency. So there are several positives and several negatives. One I am telling you, if rupee start depreciating, so you will be able to export more, but your imports will become costlier for you. A pen which we are purchasing in 80 rupees, now you need to purchase in 85. Okay? A pen is a very ordinary item. We might stop using imported pen and start using our domestic pens. But what about crude oil, life saving medicines, high grade technology, and defense goods? Have you got any alternative in India? So you go on importing costlier crude oil because rupee has lost value due to depreciation. So we need to strike a balance. Okay? Ki how long depreciation in rupee will help us and beyond which depreciation will start helping us. This is done across the world by every country. Clear? India is not a special example. Yes, in 2022 also, Ramya, one question was asked on this. So I hope in future you will be able to handle such questions with much comfort. Clear? So let me move on to the current aspect. How near and rear are connected to the latest volume of economic survey. See, here I am giving you a little bit more clarity. Just see, near is the weighted average of bilateral nominal exchange rates of the home currency in terms of foreign currencies, weights being based on average of India's bilateral trade, export plus imports with countries and regions. India today talks about countries and regions represented by 6 and 40 currencies during the preceding 3 years. Earlier it was for 36 countries and now it is basically for 40 countries. Actually, I think it has been printed wrong in economic survey. Countries are 40 in number, regions are 6 in number. So it should be basically written like this, 40 oblique 6. But it has been directly borrowed from survey. The survey of this year might have mistaken. So India's near is derived against 40 individual currencies and 6 regions. Clear? Belonging to 6 regions. The real defined as weighted average of nominal exchange rate adjusted for relative price differential, that is on inflation adjusted basis between the domestic and foreign currency, relates to the PPP hypothesis, that is purchasing power parity hypothesis, because under this one index is prepared. Okay, and this gives you an idea exactly the way how purchasing power parity idea was put in place by IMF in 1990. Clear? Okay, on parity basis. Here also India uses 6 oblique 40 countries. If you if you mean to say region, you say 6. If you mean countries, you need to say 40. It means that India today calculates rupees exchange rate against 40 currencies of the world, which are our bilateral trade partners. Clear? And all trade partners don't have same relevance for us. So according to their relevance in our trade basket, we allot them weights. The country with which we do higher volumes of trade, we allot them higher weight. so on and so forth. Ultimately, one index is prepared, clear? And near index is released by RBI. Similarly, they are derived for rear index also, clear? So this is to the extent conceptual parts are concerned. Now coming to performance of Indian rupee in 2022-23. This is hard fact. According to economic survey, from April to December 22, Indian currency depreciated against dollar by 8.3%. Over the same period, US currency dollar appreciated by 4.4%. It means कि back to back, while American dollar was strengthening, rupee was de-strengthening. It was losing its value. Okay, in terms of dollar US index. US dollar index is a measure of the whole of US relative to basket of foreign currencies. The basket contains six currencies: euro, Swiss franc, Japanese yen, Canadian dollar, British pound, and Swedish krona. It means कि as we derive our near and rear against six regions and 40 currencies, dollar index does that against only six currencies. On a calendar year basis, meaning from January to December 22, Indian currency depreciated by 10.8%, whereas American currency appreciated by 6.4%. It means कि US dollar was strengthening. This is what it means, strengthening. And our currency, that is rupee, INR, was weakening. It means कि across one year, calendar year, while rupee was getting weaker and weaker, dollar was getting stronger and stronger. So when dollar is getting stronger, it means कि their near and rear is rising. Their near or rear has been rising. Our near and rear has been decreasing. Did you understand? India's export must be getting more competitive. Export must be getting more competitive. But by only depreciation in our currency, automatically export will go up. That is not the case. You need basically prospective customers also who are eager to import from you. Clear? Because you are not the only country where depreciation is occurring. Depreciation might be occurring in many other countries which are competing with you in export market, in the same market. Clear? So this must be kept in mind. So here in essence, economic survey is saying that rupee has really depreciated. But this depreciation might have been caused more by appreciation in American dollar, because while dollar has been going up, rupee has been coming down. Clear? The near of USA survey adds further adds a near of US 27 currencies, according to America, appreciated by 7.8% in 22, while the near of India against 64 economies depreciated by 4.8%. Against 27 currencies, near of US went up by 7.8%, while against 60 global currencies, our currency depreciated, came down by 4 and 8%. In other words, it is not that INR has weakened, but it is the US that has strengthened. See the conclusion of survey. No matter how many tweets, this is a veiled attack on the critics of government of India. No matter how many tweets are written against that observation, it is a fact. Economic survey says so. It means कि if rupee has depreciated, It is not due to our variables. It is because dollar has appreciated too much. That is the reason. Several other currencies depreciated even more value against US dollar than INR. For example, South African currency depreciated by 16.4%, Brazil's currency 11.5%, Australian currency 10%, China Indonesia's currency depreciated by 8.8%, exactly equal to India. UK by 8.6%, Japan by 7.7%, Euro by 4.1%, South Korea by 3.9%. Only exception was Mexico. In case of Mexico, appreciation occurred by around 2.7%. Appreciated by around 2.7%. It means कि among these countries are basically emerging market economies. We call them EMAs as a group. Among emerging market economies, if you compare India with other countries, you come to know exactly equal to rupees depreciation, Chinese currency, Indonesian currencies have also depreciated. Not only this, currencies of South Africa, Brazil, and Australia, they have depreciated more than our currency, that is rupee. As in case of ours, rupee depreciated not primarily caused by weakness in rupee, but caused by a strengthening in American dollar. Clear? Thus, the external value of Indian currency in front of US dollar has seen very orderly movement during the year since the onset of current geopolitical crisis, concludes the economic survey. Clear? The facts which I gave today in this session, they are basically enough to handle any and every question related to PT and Main this year in 2023. It means that with this much fact, you can face PT this year, you can face Main this year, and you can face any state civil service exam and their interviews also. Clear? So this much is for today. Anybody having any question, you are free to ask your questions. Aman Kaushik has asked, yes sir, got it. Simply appreciation means near and rear has increased, correct? And vice versa, same with depreciation. And this way we are to solve the question. Yes. Yes. And to make you understand these things, I give you examples also. Himalaya is saying, sir, I am not able to understand how increase in rear indicates an improvement in trade competitiveness. Basically, Himalaya, you need to understand first how inflation is connected to exchange rate and how exchange rate is connected to export market and import market. That is a different area. It belongs to external sector, but related to exchange rate, we can't discuss everything here. It is not possible. Clear? But I just say you one small example I share with you. Suppose one American dollar was equal to rupees 80. That is equal to 1 kg of Indian sugar. Clear? So you are purchasing 1 kg sugar in 80 rupees. After some time, suppose exchange value becomes 85. Clear? So for $1, they will get basically make it 88 to make it mathematically easy. Suppose your sugar has become of 88 for American dollar, it is basically cheaper because dollar has not depreciated. Your rupee has depreciated. So if you don't do anything, the depreciation will convert into inflation. And for us, our sugar will become 10% costlier. But opposite to that, our sugar will become cheaper by 10% for US dollars. It means that in $1 American, they were getting 1000 gram sugar. Now they will get 1100 gram sugar. This is how depreciation in rupee, that is decrease in rear or near, makes India's trade become more competitive. Because when your sugar is selling 100 gram extra against same dollar, so your sugar has become cheaper for American buyer. This way you will be getting more order for your sugar from the global market. This is how export becomes competitive once rear or near decrease. Oh, Sajal Bhatia, after a long time, Sajal. If our wire related exports imports were not so high, would we have been able to depreciate our currency like China and reap its benefit? To certain extent, Sajal. The problem is that not only compulsion of importing crude oil, you have to go into your exportable items also. What you export, the things you export, are you having a degree of monopoly in them? So no. We export those things in which market is very crowded, and we import those things where there is a seller's market. Clear? Suppose you export cotton garments, ready-made garments, many countries are there. Bangladesh beats you, Taiwan beats you, China beats you. Okay? So we are not having symptom of a typical developed country. The things we import, they are compulsory import for us. And the things we export, they are not compulsory imports for our trade partners. So you cannot say, Sajal, कि if oil import compulsion had not been there, so we would have been able to copy the Chinese miracle of export strengthening by depressing our currency. You cannot be sure. But undoubtedly, as your dependency on imports of oil and energy goes down, as depreciation will start helping you more. Why? Because if depreciation occur, the suppose you got $1 benefit in export, but you lose $5 in importing costlier crude oil. Clear? Gaurav, I have already discussed this thing. Rewatch this session. You will get everything. Just the example of sugar I have given, it was related to this only. Okay? So, Sajal, hope you got your answer. Thank you very much for joining. See you in my next session on coming Sunday. Again on economic survey, I will pick again some topical idea which will be conceptual as well as factual, connected to our contemporary times also and relating to economic events of our time. Thank you and good luck. See you in future. This is a bit information about the courses which run at my place. My website has been redesigned. You are